Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. So, on the third day of June, which is also, if you take Sunday as the start of the week, the third day of the week.
Yes.
Did you do the crossword?
I did.
And did you find any interesting coincidences in the crossword, as interesting as the fact that the 3rd of June is the third day of the week?
Boy, that's a hard one to top.
Sorry. I have to ask the tough questions here. The tough and slightly surreal questions here. Mainly surreal.
But I found it to be an interesting theme, kind of a little cryptic, a little out there, sort of abstract, but definitely a good theme for a Tuesday.
Okay. Do you want to expand upon that theme?
Okay. Well, there were 3 themed clues and the revealer. And as I was solving them, I could kind of see a trend, but I wasn't really sure what was going on until I got to the revealer. So I'll read them to our listeners, see if you can figure out the theme. The first one was 20 across, which was, the answer was sheet of paper. Sheet of paper. And the clue was input for a fax machine, which was kind of crazy. Old technology there.
Hey, it still works.
It still works, I guess.
In medical offices.
If you can find one.
In medical offices around the country, they, for some reason, still have fax machines.
31 across was, the answer was air cushion. So we had sheet of paper, air cushion, the clue of which layer that a hovercraft floats on. Air cushion. And then finally, 41 across was, the answer was cloud cover. Cloud cover. Measure of how much sky is visible. So sheet of paper, air cushion, and cloud cover. And the revealer was 50 across. Easily awakened individual whose bed may feature a themed clue. And the answer to that was light sleeper. So we had sheet of paper, air cushion, and cloud cover, all sort of indicating something rather light. And we have a light sleeper as the revealer. So there you go.
Okay.
I had to kind of read into that. You know, it wasn't overt there. You kind of had to think on that one a bit. But the rest of the puzzle was interesting as well. Some kind of unique clues and answers, I thought. I'm trying to think. The 17 across was one I couldn't remember what it was called, but I eventually got it. And that was place to keep safe during an emergency. I always thought of that as the cellar, but it was called the panic room. Panic room. So
yeah, I had several letters that made me think it was going to start with the word police. Seems to me if there's an emergency, I like to be hanging around where the police are.
Well, they could be helpful depending on the emergency.
But a police room could also be a jail, so maybe I don't want to be there necessarily.
That's right. And 9 across was kind of a fun clue. Cheery goodbyes. Ta-tas.
Ta-tas, yes.
Ta-tas.
And then we had 9 down. It may be left holding the bag. Teapot.
Oh, yes. That was good.
Yes. It did much to 19 across me. Tickle, and the answer was amuse.
Oh, something I found amusing was 28 down, Zorro, Superman, or Indiana Jones. And the answer was action hero.
Yep.
And I thought it was anti-hero. Or I can't remember what I was thinking, but I thought, it's got to be anti-something. So, but it turned out to be action, not anti.
if you didn't have the C, you'd have the A, then a unknown square, and a T and an I, and that certainly looks like anti.
Yes, but no, it was action hero, and they definitely are action heroes.
Right. We had 25 across, my favorite reference work, ref work with definitions for color, spelled C-O-L-O-U-R, and aluminium, and that was OED.
That is correct.
For the Oxford English Dictionary. Long may it prosper.
Yes, yes.
34 down, I had the usual debate. It was wanders, and it's like, is it roves or is it roams?
I always put roams.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That didn't help me today because it was roves.
Yep. Which raises the question: which has shown up more times, roves or roams? This is sort of like the Hulk versus Superman. Okay, roves has shown up 55 times. Roams has shown up 52 times.
Oh
Ooh,
my. I thought roams would be higher.
it's a real nail biter here.
Yeah.
I suppose we should throw in Rome, which has been 216 times, and rove. Let's see. Rove has shown up 244. Still pretty close.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, I'm going to do a crossword that just has the word rove for every single answer.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the rejection letter from Will, signed personally,
Yes.
in which he will be rejecting that crossword and the next one we decide to submit. Just sort of.
15 across was a stumper for me because I am not a bodybuilder, I guess, but goal of some bodybuilding exercises. So I'm like, I'm trying to think like various muscles, names of muscles, but it turned out to be tone.
Yes.
Toning your body, I
Yes.
guess.
My original thought was get a date, but that didn't fit.
Not even close.
And then I went for bulk because you sort of try and bulk up.
Oh, well, that would be a good answer, yeah.
I think get a date is the actual true answer. They just don't want to admit it. I mean, all those people at Planet Fitness, how come they've got all the perfumes and and all those scents?
Yep. Now we know.
39 across was Mexican marinade, and I had ADOB, so I thought, Adobe. But apparently it's adobo.
Yeah.
That last letter makes a big difference.
Yes, adobe is what they make houses out of in Mexico.
Well, you can make a house out of adobo.
No, I don't think
You
so.
just have to put in lots of cornstarch. There's really a recipe for it, I'm pretty sure.
38 across got me thinking, a pointy-eared inhabitant of Middle Earth. And I was thinking, and I'm like, don't they all have pointy ears? The elf, which is the answer. Elves
Right.
had pointy ears. But didn't hobbits have pointy ears? And
Well-
orcs have pointy ears?
See, a long time ago when the Vulcans settled this planet, there's a lot of interspecies breeding there, I believe. No, I went for elf immediately.
I went for orc.
Oh, okay.
Because they do have pointy ears, but
I'll take your word for it.
But the elves definitely have pointy ears.
I mean, we were talking about fictional characters, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure. At least I think we are.
In Middle Earth, no less.
If there are any elven folk listening to this, our apologies for suggesting you're mythical. 36 down, Long Beach, Charleston, and Baltimore. The answer was ports.
That's correct.
That was a little
yes.
tricky for me, anyway. And 41 down, the Pixar film that revived the song "Life Is a Highway," and that was Cars.
Yes.
Have you seen Cars?
Yes.
Do you remember that song from it?
No.
Okay. All right. We had 42 down. I thought this was pretty good. It was place for boxers to exercise, dog park.
Right.
That was nicely done, I thought.
I was thinking, well, let's see, gym, ring. Then I thought, I bet this is related to dogs. And then it was.
And then we had 54 across. Plastic bit on the end of a shoelace was aglet.
That's right.
I think I first learned that word in a crossword.
I did. I did.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know what that was called until I started doing crosswords.
Also like to point out that if you put an E in front, you get eaglet.
Oh, that's true.
I believe that if we could just come up with about 4 other birds, ideally with longer names, then we could have a crossword theme.
Like hawk and crow.
Things that become, the revealer would be, things that become birds if you stick an E in front of them. I don't know if you're familiar with an e-hawk.
You're going to have to carry that over several clues, review or answers, several revealer answers.
Right now,
Things that turn into birds when you put an E in front of them.
Will Shorts is already working on his rejection letter right now. It's like, oh, let's nip this one in the bud. So we'd receive something like a 55 across. Disappointing award season outcome for a critically successful movie. Oscar snub.
That's right.
I wonder if there are crossword snubs, for like really great crosswords that no one publishes.
I am sure there are many crosswords that end up in the old round basket.
47 down. The shelter in a chilly landscape was igloo. We just had that.
Yes, we did. That's right.
And we also just had, 11 down, brownish shade was taupe.
That's right.
And we just had pecan.
Pecan was yesterday.
So a little bit of recycling taking place there. All right. Well, this was an excellent crossword, even though I didn't quite understand the theme, by Boaz Moser. Well done, Boaz. And now it is time for Triplet Tuesday. And for new listeners, Triplet Tuesday is that segment where one of us reads 3 clues to the other. The answer to all 3 clues is one 3-letter answer, and the object is to guess that answer in as few clues as possible. We do it 3 times, hence the name, Triplet Tuesday. You are invited to play along. Just hit the pause button after Jean, who will be delivering the clues today, has uttered whatever that clue is, and see if you can beat me to the punch. You don't really need to rush. You probably will be able to do it anyway, but let's have at it.
All right.
I am now ready.
Okay, here's your first clue.
Ready.
Vegan lunch option.
Soy.
No.
Oh. What?
Well,
are you sure?
I'm sure.
I demand a recount.
Okay. Here's your second clue. One might use Peter Pan in brief.
One might use Peter Pan. Oh, PBJ.
Right. Very good. You got it in 2.
Yep. I guess as soon as you say vegetarian and vegan, I start thinking about exotic foodstuffs.
Well, yes, that's what you have for lunch. But many vegans have PB&J.
Right.
So the third clue was sticky sandwich.
Ah, I would have gone for grilled cheese.
Oh. Okay, well, you got it in 2. That's
all
good.
Right.
All right. Number 2.
Ready?
Many a saint originally.
Many a saint originally. Oh my. Let's see. Leo.
No.
Because there are a lot of popes named Leo.
There are.
Aren't we up to like number 14?
Some of them are not saints, believe me.
No, but we're up to number 14, right? And I assume that some of them became saints.
I would believe, probably some of them did.
So I'd like to defend my guess as being extremely clever. And apparently extremely wrong.
That's right. Okay. Here's the next clue. Sound of Music Extra.
Sound of Music Extra. Okay, so someone who was in the Sound of Music as an extra. Alp.
What?
Alp.
Alp?
Didn't that take place in the Alps?
They don't list them in the credits, but
well, they're there. I mean, when you look at the picture, there's the Alp.
Yes, that's true, but no, that's not right.
Sound of Music Extra. The Alp.
Oh no!
I bet they're listed in the credits. You just probably haven't looked for them. Mountains were played in today's movie by the Alps.
Okay, you got one more chance here. All right, Mother Teresa for 1.
None.
Yes.
Oh, I see. There were nuns in The Sound of Music.
Yes, many of them.
And what was
they were extras.
To be honest, I really don't remember any of that. I don't even know if I've seen it. So, what was the first clue again?
Many a saint originally.
They were nuns?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. So.
Yeah, most of those were out of my wheelhouse.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, let's try number 3 here.
Oh, I thought that was number 3.
No, that was the second.
Oh man,
set.
I'm so worn out by all these real posers here.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the first clue. Easy mark.
Easy sap.
Yes, that's right. I I didn't think you'd get it on that.
Why?
I just didn't think you'd think of that word.
Oh, I think so. I think when I hear easy mark, I immediately think about someone being suckered in.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's my go-to interpretation of that word.
okay. Well, that is correct. Very good.
I bet maple syrup comes into one of these.
The second one was drain.
Ooh, that was tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I should have started with that.
I think so.
Yeah. And the last one was sticky tree stuff.
PB&J. No, guess not.
Oh.
Yeah, the sticky tree stuff was appropriately placed in that order there.
Yeah. All right. Well, you did very well. 1, 2, and 3.
Wait, I thought it was 1, 3, and 2.
Well, I didn't put. I just was listing in
I see.
order.
Okay,
but
okay.
Yes. You did right. The first one in 2, the second one in 3, and the third one in 1.
Yes, and now I'll do the fourth in 0. Nil. My answer is nil.
All right.
All right, listeners, how did you do? Let us know. crosswordpodcast@icloud.com. And if you want to provide any feedback, we love that as well. Same email address, or you can click on the send fan mail link.
Yep.
That is it for today. We'll be back again with our cutting edge analysis of Wednesday's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.